I think you'll laugh, Max.
Okay, wait, hang on. Sorry. Technical difficulties. We're good.
Oh, no.
Okay. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much for tuning into another episode of Market Check brought to you by BB. Guys, the title of today's stream is Rate Cut Aftermath. Let's talk about it, guys. So we got what was more or less expected yesterday from Chairman Powell and his constituents. We got a small 25 basis point cut, which is good. That's what we more or less wanted to see. And then we were really just sort of reliant on what he was going to say. And I don't think he said too much, which I think is a good thing, kind of in typical Powell fashion. And markets are looking decent after the fact, right? And I think what's really important is that now we have more clarity on what to expect for the remainder of the year, right? We have more rate cuts presumably coming. I don't remember the exact probabilities. Maybe we can look it up here on stream. But I think we are basically staring down the barrel of at least 2 more 25 basis point cuts unless things change. So things look pretty good as of right now. Bitcoin is still grinding higher. Equity's having a nice day. US small caps really looking solid. And I think what we're seeing can be summed up with the following. Hold through the FOMC volatility and then basically fade whichever direction happens in like the preceding 6 to 12 hours. And things look ready for higher. Now, what I really think is about to happen is that I think the Russell is about to go into price discovery sometime, probably Q4. Hopefully before that. Hopefully we still got a couple weeks left of Q3. And what we've talked about in this show for quite some time is the significance and the implications of what it means when U.S. small caps move into price discovery. Typically, that means froth has entered the arena. Froth is here in the room with us. And that does not mean only for equities. That means typically U.S. small caps catch a bid, and then people move even further down the risk curve and start bidding crypto. So anyways, I don't want to monologue for too long. Let's have a great show today. Great discussion, guys. Thanks for being here. We should be live on YouTube, X, and Pump. So we should be live on the 3 platforms. Everything looks to be working appropriately. Yeah, it looks pretty good. But anyways, Tucker, Louie, what's going on, man? How are you guys? Talk to me about what you're seeing in the markets.
Well, go ahead, Louie. Go ahead.
No, you go.
Me go. Okay. Well, let's see. I mean, I'm kind of on the same page. I think we're going to continue to pump out of Powell. We sold into it. Generally, cutting with equities at all-time highs is obviously a good thing. We are cutting into stagflation, which, you know, it kind of is what it is. But I think either way, it's going to send assets higher. Bitcoin looks good. I wanted to see it get above this kind of shoulder right here, which it has. Stole is another one that actually looked really good back above this zone that we were looking at. So I don't know. I think we've got room. I think we've got room into Q4. And yeah, I mean, I don't see why equities don't continue grinding higher, but as well as majors, right? I mean, even going back to ETH, this is kind of a funky looking chart, but I don't know. For me, as long as it's above this line and as long as it's above, like, you know, 44.50 right about here, I think it's fine. But obviously Sol and Bitcoin are leading more so, right? They're both above that shoulder back there. So I don't know. I think things probably just grind higher, right? I mean, like Max said, IWM is almost in price discovery. This is that first peak from 21. Then we swept it and rejected back in 24. You know, this is our third attempt. So I don't know. I'd look for, if we can clear 245, I'd be looking at basically 300 for IWM, which would be huge for, you know, for crypto.
And Tucker, can we do a little? I know we talk about this. It seems like damn near every day, but I think it's for good reason. Can you do me a favor and just pull up something like Doge, or even others dominance? Some way we can basically track crypto beta. Or I should have been more clear. Underneath that IWM chart, right? Because I still think a lot of people don't understand.
Put in total excluding Bitcoin and ETH.
What is that? Total ES?
Just total excluding Bitcoin and ETH. That's just
see what I would do is I would do the plus instead of two charts so that it like lines the dates up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I want people to fully understand, like, if we are about to have finally an alt season and you're about to see like the tides really shift, I think this is kind of that I don't know, hidden alpha that really gives you the all clear to bid crypto beta. And we kind of got faked out end of last year. Like, we swept that all-time high, but we didn't really make a new all-time high. Then we had the Q1 tariff crap that basically nuked global markets. But when you finally stick that landing on price discovery for US small caps, crypto just goes insane when that happens. And we haven't seen that in 4 years. Right? We've been in a 4-year range for US small caps. That's the top chart we're looking at here. So do me a favor, Tucker. Go scroll back even to last cycle, right? Like, look at when the Russell went into price discovery last cycle, right?
Yeah, I mean, from this
that was like 2 cycles ago.
No.
So you mean?
Yeah.
No, I mean to the down to like right there.
Like here?
Yeah, exactly. Because that was real price discovery. You know what I mean? Like, that was your multi-year range. And then you finally blast off into price discovery. And look what happened to Total 3, which is, again, your shitcoin ETF, right? So we're potentially getting very close to that, assuming that US small caps can stick the landing once again. And I'm really excited for it. I mean, I think it's much more likely than not that you see the Russell rally into the end of the year, given that after yesterday's FOMC, we now have more clarity on we now have a lot more clarity on how many more rate cuts to expect. And obviously, I think people understand that US small cap companies, not the Apples of the world, not the Nvidias of the world, not the mega cap tech of the world, these small cap companies, their success is much more dependent and tethered to interest rates. They run their businesses on these, a lot of them, these revolving lines of credits where they have a variable interest rate and they move up and down. So it's been a long time coming where, the high interest rates as the past couple of years have really handicapped what small cap companies are even capable of doing performance wise. So I think this is going to allow a lot of them to refinance or just access cheaper debt. And their businesses should really benefit from it. So when I look at this chart, I think, wow, crazy Q1 shakeout, kind of like the crazy Q1 shakeout we had in 2020, obviously different catalysts. Q1 2020 was COVID. Q1 2025 was global tariff shakeout, right? Just insane. But the structures even look similar. This looks like a bigger version of it. We've been in a longer range, but they don't look all that different. Right? They don't look all that different.
You're talking about just like this?
Yeah, totally.
Like to it.
Yeah, they don't look all that different to me.
It's identical. Yeah. They're running it back.
Yeah, I mean, this was COVID and money printing, right? We haven't necessarily seen that, but I mean, if they're going to keep cutting and they, NQT, then you should get a similar reaction. Yeah, I would expect. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if we're going to see like this like to a T, right? Like that was kind of once in a lifetime. Huh?
Let me ask you, why not?
Because I don't know if
Why?
they're going to drop the reserve ratio at banks to 0 and then just outright print a bunch of money. If they do that, then sure. But
now go back even one more cycle. Go back one more cycle and look what happened when the Russell went into price discovery. You might need a different total chart. Like I would even just pull up Doge down there because you have more price history. And Doge is obviously, it's just like your beta barometer, right?
let's do this one. Let's get rid of this.
Doge.
Because I mean, even that we didn't have interest rates floored out and we didn't have QE in 2015 through 2017, but the Russell goes into price discovery. Look what Doge did. Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that's been one argument that I've had. People ask me a lot, it seems, hey, do you think that we need QE to have like an altcoin rally? And I would say last cycle, it seemed necessary, where last cycle was really less of like crypto adoption and more of like an asset repricing cycle based on interest rate and monetary manipulation, right? They doubled the M2 money supply in 18 months, 2 years. And they dropped interest rates to historical lows, right? So it was less of like your assets appreciating. There was some of that, but it was less of your assets appreciating and being adopted and more of here's an asset and the denominator being the dollar is being just cratered through the floor in valuation. So your asset goes higher, right? But in 2015, 16, 17 cycle, we didn't have that. We didn't have that, and altcoins still went crazy. Now, granted, there were a lot less altcoins, but
Yeah.
I don't think we need QE. I think we've seen it both ways, right? I think we've seen it both ways.
Wait, you're telling me there weren't 15 million altcoins in 2017?
Slightly less, maybe 12 million.
I think that's actually the real number, at least from the terminal I looked at. So
yeah,
What,
I mean, here's the
50
thing about
altcoins?
those altcoins, though. Like,
Not
if
even.
you really think about it, like how many of them are like legitimate coins, right? Like most of them are like just random little, like they get dropped and then they pump for like 24 hours and then they just die, right? And
Yeah.
then they still exist, but they're not like actual coins, so like I wonder if there's a way to know like actual coins, meaning like something has to have for a month consistently 5K or higher in like volume. You know what I mean? It's probably, the actual number of how many altcoins there are is probably, 90% of what like that big sticker shock number is, because a lot of them are just like people pop up contracts and then they just go on to the next
still
thing.
90% is a lot. That's a high percentage of 15 million. But I mean, back
No,
then,
sorry, I meant like the 10%, right? So it'd be like 10% of that number. So 90% of them are like I wouldn't count them.
Oh, I see. I hear you.
Just because think about it, like most of them are like, I mean, unironically, we're literally streaming on Pump Fun, but like unironically, think about most of the tokens on there. People just launch like 100 coins quick, hoping they can dump on people, right? But then you have a mix of like people trying to do actual things. So yeah, I'm not super worried about like the dilution, just because I think that it's a very small subsect of crypto that's just like actually buying and holding those tokens to zero, but like that sticker shock number of how many there are, it's a big number. But I think you do need to maybe filter them out a little bit by like average daily volume to know like which ones are actually catching consistent eyes rather than just like, oh, this one pumped for 3 days and then went to zero,
Yeah.
Well, just quick question. What do you guys think of the new CZ coin?
What's that one?
Aster.
Oh, I saw a tweet about that this morning. I like haven't looked into it at all.
No
honestly.
idea.
So
Tell me about it.
basically, it's like Binance's version. Well, they don't directly own it, but it's their version of Hyperliquid.
We knew that was coming.
Yeah, like we knew that was going to happen at some point, but It's basically like a perp dex that I'm pretty sure, I don't know a ton about it, but I'm pretty sure it's trying to be hyper liquid. So I don't know. I mean, it's got CZ behind it, so we'll
So is
see.
it kind of like Bybit has Apex? Like, is it like
I don't
that?
think it's that. I don't think it's that direct of a affiliation, right? Like it's like the YZI Labs, who it's like
So is
Binance.
Binance just like a huge investor in it or something?
I think so. I could be wrong, but I think so.
Okay. Yeah, I genuinely don't know anything about it, but I mean, I think, what do you think? This is a little maybe off topic, but like, what do you think about the possibility of people in the US being able to trade on Binance again this cycle?
I mean, I've never been able to trade on Binance, so I don't even know what that would be like.
It'd probably be awesome.
It probably would be awesome. Do you mean like, okay, wait, were people in the US ever allowed to trade on Binance?
No, I
Yeah.
mean, we had Binance US, but like
No, I used Binance, OG Binance, in like 2018.
Really?
That was the only way to buy altcoins. I obviously had a Coinbase account. You had to create a Coinbase account. You had to buy ETH on Coinbase. They only had a couple, right? A couple tokens on there. I think it was like Bitcoin, ETH, Litecoin, maybe like one or two more. You had to take that ETH, send it from Coinbase over to Binance, sell the ETH into Tether, and then you were able to buy, whatever altcoin you wanted to buy.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I have used OG Binance. And then I also was a user of Binance US. I liked Binance US. And then obviously in the bear market, they got banned. So I had to move off that. And like I was playing musical chairs with exchanges between like 2022 and 2024. Like they just started getting picked off left and right. Like KuCoin, then they banned KuCoin, and they banned like Nexi, all that stuff. So it was like 2022 to 2024. It was a lot of exchanges kind of just disabling US usage because like they didn't want to deal with the SEC, But with what we're seeing with the regulations and stuff like that being more friendly to US adoption, I think we see Binance US come back. And if we do, I don't think that there's going to be a need for Binance in the US unless they just scrap Binance US altogether and they just bring Binance over, but I mean, I'm happy with Hyperliquid. It's a great product. I've never had an issue once. If it ain't broken, don't fix it. So
this is a good question, actually. Do you guys still think we'll have an alt season where everything rises? Now, here's the thing. This is like the most highly debated question, I think, as it pertains to altcoins, because this market cycle so far has been so fractured, where there's been a bull market somewhere, but it hasn't been everywhere. Like you have one-off coins pumping, you have, one day Sol will pump, but BNB won't, like sometimes everything will pump and ETH will dump. That was like the big story for, a majority of the cycle. And then ETH recently pumped and everything else kind of just grinded higher a little bit, but like didn't really pump. So people are, I think, becoming so discouraged where they're like, man, like we just won't have an alt season where we see that rising tide lift all ships like in previous cycles. But I think I kind of revert back to the previous two cycles for a reference, and I say the conditions in which the rising tide lifts all ships from the previous cycles have not been met. We haven't seen the same conditions. First and foremost, you need Ethereum, the king of altcoins, the king shitcoin. You need Ethereum in price discovery. That hasn't happened yet. We technically swept the high, but that's not price discovery. Like we need ETH in price discovery. Then we need US small cap companies in price discovery, right? So something like IWM. So I think you are on the brink of both happening, right? Could you put an ETH chart right below this one, Tucker, and just see when ETH made a new all-time high last cycle?
Mhm.
So when you get ETH,
Yeah, it's gonna be the same time as Doge, I think.
yeah. So when you get ETH in price discovery and you get US small cap companies in price discovery, those are the two primary conditions that are required for that rising tide to lift all ships where like every shitcoin pumps. So we haven't seen that yet. I thought we were ready for it like end of last year. Like Russell went through a multi-year reaccumulation, technically made a new high, and then we just got rugged from the tariffs, and things were probably a little frothy from a technical perspective anyways. But I really think now we are ready for that. So I don't think it needs to be immediate, right? But I do think that before this cycle is over, you are going to more likely than not see the conditions that are necessary for that rising tide to lift all ships. Meaning, again, you enter an environment where you just buy any shitcoin and it's likely going to pump, maybe more than the majors, maybe less than the majors, but kind of what we've referred to as like your brain is off mode or your brain is off season. Like everybody's a genius season. There's a few different ways people refer to it. And again, we just haven't seen that yet. But I do think these two charts that Tucker has up here are proof of that. Typically that happens when you see ETH in price discovery and you see US small caps ripping. And I think we do have the perfect storm for that, where the economy is still strong and we are getting rate cuts. They're not cutting rates because we're seeing like horrible economic deterioration and we're on the brink of a recession. So you're getting looser financial conditions, you're getting financial easing with still very manageable low unemployment, initial jobless claims, strong GDP. Like if there's a recession, it's not here yet, right? So like there are signs of like certain slowing in like little pockets, but there's always some macroeconomic factor that's in contraction. You can point to one of 20, important recessionary macroeconomic factors and be like, "Oh, this one's contracting," but the other ones are fine. So things are fine. We're getting looser financial conditions right now with the Russell about to go into price discovery and people still have jobs. I think you're probably about to see alt season. And then again, we could even circle it back further to like Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance looks giga top to me personally. Giga topped, right? So like I really think we are like right there, guys. You might need to put ETH in log there, Tucker. I know that probably pains you, but
It does. Let's see. I mean, yeah, the Russell's right there. You get that to go through. You get ETH to finally push through. And look what happened to dominance. Off a cliff. So, I mean, it's already started, though. You're like right here. But, I mean, that thing dropped another 30% after that initial. I mean, that would be new lows. So, I don't know if new lows are in order, but even like 50 something percent would be.
I mean, how about just retesting that range high from like the bear market on Bitcoin dominance?
What, right here?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll get a big reaction there. Like, who knows if it actually holds or not? But I mean, that's kind of an obvious target, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that base. I mean, I could possibly see Bitcoin dominance bouncing here a little bit. Don't care if it happens or not. But I could see it. I could see Bitcoin kind of leading out of this like last month or so of consolidation. I could see Bitcoin surprising a lot of people, putting in a strong leg. I feel like it's pretty much, there's not many people right now. Not that it matters, but it kind of does, calling for another monster leg for Bitcoin, right? It's like, oh, well, Bitcoin probably going to slow down here. ETH and all coins are going to go nuts, which I think they are, right? But I could see Bitcoin putting in a real strong leg out of this kind of flip of the January, highs into support here. And I could see Bitcoin surprising a lot of people, putting in a strong, powerful move to the upside here. And where Bitcoin dominance is at, we're kind of sitting at a big support level. And I could see Bitcoin kind of leading this rally out of here, which I think would be healthy as well, right? Kind of putting in that last big move and then just kind of continuing that. And then as that move continues, ETH and altcoins take the dominance back. But I could see a little bounce here. Don't really care if it happens, but I could see it. And I think it'd be healthy, honestly, if Bitcoin kind of led out of this environment we've been in for the last month and a half.
I agree with you. I do think it would be.
Right,
I do think it would be healthy. Yeah.
Nothing brings more eyes to the crypto space than Bitcoin just absolutely chatting. Obviously ETH now, right? That's kind of gaining a lot more attention and exposure in TradFi. But I mean, again, like nothing is more powerful than Bitcoin just absolutely ripping, everyone freaking out, and then trying to play the catch-up move, which is ETH and altcoins, I like if you put, I don't know if that's in log or linear, that Bitcoin chart.
It's in log.
If you put it in linear and draw like a parabolic curve, do you know what tool I'm talking about? Like just like the
curve.
Not from there. I mean, I guess you could do it from there. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, you had it good. It was the first time you had it good. But yeah, the first way you drew it, it was beautiful. Like you're kind of coming into this. There you go. Yeah, you're kind of coming into this point where it feels like Bitcoin's about to really put in a big squeeze to the upside and kind of enter more like a 2017 type rally, where it was a blow off top versus the 2021 double top. I don't know. I could just see Bitcoin surprising a lot of people here and going a lot higher than people think. It's just something I've been thinking about over the last couple of weeks. I got fibs at 135K, and I have another fib at like 170K, right? I could really see Bitcoin just chatting from here into that area in between that 1618 and 2618. If you take it from the double top highs.
I'm just gonna draw a bunch of them.
Yeah. Like I 170K, that area, like got some confidence.
There's a bunch.
I really think you are gonna see Bitcoin make a materially higher high. I just don't know if I see us going above 200K this cycle. I am so happy to be wrong, by the way. Like, please prove me wrong. But I think you are going to see Bitcoin make a higher high in a meaningful way. And I think at that same time, you're going to see stuff like MicroStrategy print high time frame lower highs. And you're going to see Bitcoin miners go bananas during that time.
Yeah, they already kind of are. And that's what kind of has me thinking, like Bitcoin miners starting to break out. You have like Riot breaking out, multi-year consolidation. You have Mara starting to move, other Bitcoin miners. I could really see Bitcoin putting in like an escape velocity, meat stick candle and kind of separating us from this kind of area we've been in. Riot looks beautiful.
And in 2020 or 2021, Louis, look at how late in the cycle they waited to rally.
Yeah.
Like they pumped in like the final inning of the bull market.
It's Q4 of the halving year or post halving year, one or the other. I can't really remember, but I think they're a year behind, right? When I was 2021, yes, that's correct. Yeah. The seasonality on these Bitcoin miner charts is on our side. They've been putting in they've been pretty much ranging for a year and a half, and you could see the Bitcoin miners, they're either doing nothing or they're putting in face ripping rallies, right? And it usually happens for something specifically like Riot, October, November, December, it's all kind of shaping up here. I'm really happy with the Bitcoin miner positions I've built over the last couple of weeks. And I did a video on that too. So really liking how they're looking. I think it's telling the story, and that's what I was saying the last week or two. Right, the miners were moving, altcoins and Bitcoin not doing a little bit, but the miners I think were really kind of giving the signal here for the crypto market.
Look at that! Look at the sweep, boys.
This chart looks pretty heavy. To be fair, and for those that this is brand new for, Tether dominance has a negative correlation with crypto. So like we want this chart to just nuke through the floor. And that means you're going to get a huge rally. My hope for this chart is that all of that, like it looks like a giant range, basically from like Q1 2024 until now. If all of that is just one giant range, maybe you could try to draw it out, Tucker, like from those 3 lows, like starting in beginning of 2024 all the way through where we're at right now.
Oh, sorry, you cut out there for a minute. Draw range.
Yeah, so like a giant range from like Q1 2024
from back
all the way
here.
across. Yeah, more or less like there. Like that's your range low, and range high is like right there.
Yeah.
If this is one giant range and we're about to like actually break down from this, things could get a lot crazier than people think. Now, something you have to be a little careful about is like sweeping that prior low from like that middle low right there in the early 2025. Yeah, doing something like that. But assuming you can break down from there and not just like hold and then reaccumulate, my goodness, like you are probably right to assume you tag that red box. And a move like that would not be small, right? That would not be a small move for crypto. I mean, crypto would just go parabolic. Like you really would see, everything pump and hard. But, it's like you are technically at support, right? This is a really stubborn looking chart. But also something to note too is like, what has stablecoin market cap's been doing? Last I checked, they were going vertical, right? Like Tether market cap was just going bananas last time I checked. So I'm like, we've never had more stablecoins in the market than we do right now. So if we see a combination of stablecoins flooding the market with stablecoin dominance going down, what does that equal? That equals people shoving stable coins straight into crypto assets, or longing the crap out of things on perps. So we are kind of set up for a really, really nice little move here, but I don't know.
Yep.
I guess you just kind of have to wait and see if it actually happens, right?
Yeah, it's all coming together beautifully. It just took a lot, longer than people expected.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it does really say something that stablecoin market caps are ripping, and like basically it's like every move down on this is now that much bigger, right? Like a move down here is much bigger than this because the market cap went up of Tether. So I don't know. I mean, that would be quite a sight to even see just I guess that's a 40% move, but it looks heavy. I mean, take off everything. Like, what do we think? Like, just
looks like a shoulder.
Yeah. Put on what's the RSI looking like?
Let's get rid of all this.
It's probably leading this move to the downside.
Sitting below the 50. It's ugly.
Hang on, let's make it a little nicer.
It looks heavy. There's no question about it.
Little descending triangle, Louis.
Yes, sir.
I know you can appreciate.
Trapdoor, Louis?
Yeah. I mean, coming down to this level for a third time, the more times we come into this I guess range low, the more likely it is going to.
Well, this is actually a good comment. We should be looking at USDC dominance as well, and just kind of comparing how they look.
Or just combine it with USTD dominance too. Good one.
This is just USDC, which I would say looks better than Tether, but we could do the combo.
Looks a little bear flaggy.
Is that
similar.
right? Tether is
Yeah,
just
that's right.
so much bigger. It must be.
I mean, that looks like you're like halfway through a bear market and it's about to mark down again.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the biggest scam that they played on everybody was trying to convince you that alt season wouldn't happen because it just took a little longer than normal.
Yep.
But
Yeah. They
I think
convinced
I think we're gonna get it, guys. I do. I really think we're gonna get it. There's no better way for them to generate exit liquidity on their bags than pumping prices to get the next wave of retail back. First wave of retail already got carted out.
Yep.
They need their second wave. I think they're going to do everything they can to sucker them back in. They're going to make people think that buying $1,000 Solana is cheap. That's going to be the next crime of the cycle, right? You're going to start seeing these like 5K Sol calls when it's at like 1,200, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Then the next wave of retail is going to be like, I just like took out a home equity line of credit and I just put all of it into Sol at 1,500, you know?
Yeah.
And then they're going to get cooked, right?
We've seen nothing like that yet.
Yeah, we've seen that
nothing like
before.
we haven't seen an environment where no one's even thinking about a top and everyone's just thinking about higher prices and higher targets.
Yep.
That's indicative of being close to a top. We haven't even gotten close to that. Yeah, that'll come. That'll definitely come. And that first wave of retail will come back higher. And they'll have to buy back higher. They're going to turn around and be like, wait, Bitcoin's at $135,000. ETH's well above 5K. Like, holy shit, it's happening. And I'm sure and they'll make money, right? They'll make money, but will they actually take profits? Likely not. And will the money they make be life-changing? I mean, if they get lucky. But the people that are going to make the exponential gains are the people that have been sticking around for the last 6 to 9 months and accumulating the right altcoins at these lows. That's where the real exponential gains are going to be made. So I think the hard work and sticking around and dealing with this crap market will eventually pay dividends for those that have stuck around.
Yeah, without question. Are there any that MACD looks terrible, by the way.
I know, that's why. Yeah.
It's horrible. Like curling down under the zero line. Oof, just terrible. Are there any individual altcoins that you guys are particularly excited about?
I would still go back to this Aster thing, man. I don't know it yet, but I think it's gonna be quite something. I think like the not crazy take is people just comparing it to hype and saying it's going to 20x from here because it's sitting at like $1 billion. I don't know that it's going to quite do that. I mean, hype is fully built out, smooth, clean, has its own EVM. Like hype is done building basically. But I think there's probably some room, right? Like I think it could probably go to like half the market cap of hype, maybe, but I don't know. I need to look into it more. Like I said, I don't even own any yet, but I think it could be interesting. I mean, it's CZ's baby right now, it seems like, so we'll see. But
yeah.
I like Zora here.
You like Zora?
Yeah.
Take a look at Zora.
Buying Zora. It's pretty much the same concept as the pump, pretty much the pump streaming tokens in a way where and was actually doing it before. If you put like on the 12-hour or like the 18 or the daily, it's this concept of putting money in the hands back into the pockets of the creators, right? Like monetizing social presence, like you were saying. Like the economy right now is strong for those who have eyes and attention, right? And now creators are even more incentivized to post and put content out because they're getting rewarded, right? And paid for it in a way. So, and this is pretty much very much backed by Coinbase, right? So, love that. Love that it's at prices. We're getting, right now, this is 60% off the all-time high. So nice discount prices here for Zora. You're not buying a pump. You're not, kind of FOMOing into this. You're buying probably what's likely the next reaccumulation before another leg. I think this is undervalued here. And I like the concept. I like the tech. I've been playing around with it a little myself. And yeah, people are making money on Zora, just posting stuff and getting paid for it. And people are kind of trading on there as well. So yeah, this is one that I'm definitely excited about. Been building a position. Was building a little lower than where we are now. So I kind of bottom ticked this one, gave the nice call in the Discord. So already in profit on these buys, maybe come a little lower, right? And kind of accumulate in this area, but you're at market structure. This has previously shown strength, right? It shows the market likes it. It's kind of gone through that first sell-off distribution of some sort after, a FOMO pump. Market's starting to turn around here. I like it a lot.
This is like a creator platform, right?
Mm-hmm. And like every post is technically like a token, and like your creator profile is also a token as well, so that people can buy your profile in a way.
See, this is exactly like what I was talking about. Why I think we should be streaming, and now we are on Pump, where I'm like, everybody's trying to nail down these, like, the best way to monetize creators. Everybody, like, that is a huge thing. For years, people have been trying. There was Stars Arena, there was Friend Tech, now there's Zora, there's Pump is now doing the creator streaming. We're literally on Pump right now, with YouTube and X. And then something about, like, what's that Launch Coin? Are they doing something like that too? I don't know even what that is. Somebody in the comments was talking about it. If you guys know, please tell me what it even is. I'm a little bit out of the loop. But there's a very clear effort being put into, like, this convergence of, like, creators and content and crypto as a payment rail. And I honestly think we're early to it, because I don't think anybody has nailed it yet. And maybe this, maybe it's Pump, maybe it's Zora, maybe it's something else, right? But I think that there's so much money to be made with streaming, and streamers have just been completely squashed for so long, including us. Like, we didn't make anything from YouTube or X, right? I'm pretty bullish on that idea, right? I really am.
Yeah. And originally I didn't like it. Right? Originally I was like, great, more saturation into the market, right? We already have all these meme coins, like you said, it's like over a million, but a lot of those are dead. The markets will cleanse those out. And originally I wasn't a fan of it, but the more I'm seeing how these platforms are being used, it's working, right? And when you're putting money in the hands of these creators, it's just going to incentivize more people, right, to join and do it. And it's actually creating another massive use case for crypto as well, right? Decentralized kind of economy for creators in a sense, and money and the ability to make money attracts people, right? So I think it's going to be another major niche and use case for crypto, which is bullish in my opinion, all around.
Yeah, I agree. And kind of moving on from, like, the creator thing, this chart, Sol, looks like to me it has stuck the landing on its parabola, and it is about to absolutely go insane, right?
Yeah,
that's just how it looks to me. Just one guy's opinion. But Tucker,
No, I agree. I think. I mean, everything down here looks good. I mean, these are just basic oscillators, right? But like, this looks like it wants to shoot up into the 90s. This is green and above the zero line. Like, I don't see why not. Especially the weekly too, man. I mean, it just looks so good. Usually when it looks really good, like that's not the best time to buy it, of course, but like
I think this time is right. We've
no.
seen a lot.
Once in a while, breakout trading works.
Yeah. I think it.
And when it works, yeah.
Especially this, it's like this. You could tell, and this is something I was saying, the last week or two, is like everyone in the space, right? Whoever's left has become complacent with the idea where another sweep at a low, right? We gotta come all the way back to the lows again, or just being even like the biggest bulls are like, oh well, we could see another flush, we could see this, we could see that, and everyone's kind of becoming complacent in that sense due to conditioning of what we've seen. But there is a time and place where a good-looking chart curling up with the context that we have of everything going on in the macro, it does work out, right? And these kind of like even before Sol got to where it is right now, like it looked like it was either going to be the start of a parabolic curve or it was going to a trap and it was going to sweep the lows, and we're seeing it continue higher. Similar with ETH, right? Lower time frame. A lot of people waiting for that shoe to drop on ETH, right? Kind of that ugly formation we've been putting in on the lower time frame. A lot of clear, obvious liquidity below. And everyone's like, yeah, we're definitely going to sweep that. We're coming back down. And I was like, well, we've seen multiple scenarios this cycle where ETH does stop on a dime, doesn't sweep the obvious liquidity, and really starts to chat, and again, I think we're seeing that on ETH too. So I think we are in a time and a place where there's a lot of skepticism out there to trust or like disbelief. But I think that is going to be the recipe to send things even higher, right? We're kind of in that disbelief. We're like, this is a sucker's rally, no one's trusting it, where in reality it's the start of massive run across the board.
This rally will fail like all the others.
Exactly. But it won't.
Speaking of things that are looking good, there's a certain frog that has my heart. And I would like to talk about that certain frog. That's a lot of drawings, Tucker.
It's a few drawings.
Respect, but also that's a lot of drawings.
It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot.
Schizo.
Dude, what is this comment? Max, please talk about Jimmy Kimmel. I don't know why would I talk about Jimmy Kimmel? I don't know anything about Jimmy Kimmel.
Heard he's getting canceled.
Oh, he got canceled?
Yeah.
That's a bummer. Sorry for Jimmy. Maybe he'll be on Pump Fun then with the Jimmy Kimmel coin.
Yeah.
Talk about Jimmy Kimmel. How could I go on with my day if I don't hear Max's opinion on Jimmy Kimmel? I don't know, man. Just a guy. I guess he's getting canceled. I don't know anything about him.
Yeah, Pepe looks pretty parabolic here too.
Are you sure you don't mean cyclotopism?
Definitely don't mean that.
Okay.
They really want to hear about Jimmy. I don't even know. I know he got canceled for something. I don't know what he did though.
He made some obscene comments about the whole Kirk situation.
Oh.
Thinking he could just get away with that. And I think they're taking his show away.
That's wild, man.
Yeah,
there's nothing more freakish than celebrating a young man's death. Like, there's nothing more freakish.
They know how to push.
I'm not about like the whole cancel culture thing, but it's like, dude.
Yeah, me neither.
Like a guy got killed, like executed in front of the world.
Yeah.
And you're like celebrating.
You can say what you want, but you're gonna get fired.
That's crazy, man. Nothing more freakish than that. Then I'm happy Jimmy Kimmel got fired, man. That was a sad day for the world, honestly.
Like sick. Yeah. Yeah. So.
Well, I I was never like a fan. I never watched Jimmy Kimmel's show, so I guess it doesn't really affect me. But all right, back to market check. Who cares about Jimmy Kimmel? Someone on Pump Fund just goes, "Fuck Kimmel, freak." We actually have a nice little audience on Pump. You know, we've got like kind of the normal YouTube numbers. We got 240 on YouTube, probably about another 200 on X, and we've got 25 people on Pump. See, that's what I like, man. Like, finally, our content is being showed to new people. After YouTube and X, they just kind of sit there, you know? Same group, doesn't really get pushed, you know? I like that. Welcome to everybody watching on Pump. Thanks for being here, guys. Hope you're learning something. Hope you're enjoying the show. Greatly appreciate it.
I guess the same title, if I had to guess.
On Pump, what's the stream title? I don't know if there's like a title on Pump. I think it's just like our account, maybe.
Yeah.
And then I think it's just like a profile that like has the stream on it. So I think you could probably just look up like BB, like the stream token, or like @ because Bitcoin is just our profile on there. But yeah.
So what do you think about this chart, Max?
I mean, my entire net worth and livelihood is basically wagered on this chart going way higher. So I'm incredibly bullish on this chart. And actually, Tucker, do you mind if I just respectfully puppeteer you quickly?
Respectfully, of course.
Respectfully. Tucker, would you be a gentleman and please put your chart in log mode?
Oh, yes.
Next, I'm going to ask you to please delete those 2 horizontal lines.
Boom.
Next, I'm going to politely request that as a gentleman and a scholar, you put down the Ethereum chart below this chart. Respectfully.
Of course.
With a lot of respect.
Boom.
Now, Tucker, would you be a gentleman and a scholar and please mark up the chart and identify the regime in which was happening between November and March of 2024 for both Pepe and ETH. You could just mark it with maybe even vertical lines.
November and March of 24.
Yep. So back to November 2023.
Oh, okay.
Through March of 2024.
November of 2024.
Let's mark that out right there.
Through
March of 2024. That's fine, right there. So what we were seeing here, and then maybe mark out where we currently are too, Tucker, because the frog is looking really hoppy here. Okay. So maybe I would take that first vertical line back to the left, right? Back to the left when Pepe kind of first pumped off that low, like May.
Here.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
So what we're seeing here is the same exact dynamic and regime in which we saw at basically second half of Q4 2023 through Q1 of 2024, which is the following. ETH ramping, moving up, looking good. Pepe chopping, bleeding, coiling, reaccumulating. You pick your adjective. And then one calendar day rolls to the next, and Pepe goes bananas. I think that day will be the day when ETH finally goes into price discovery. When you see like a 4,900 ETH, I think Pepe is going to launch like 10x. Because look at exactly on that chart what happened at the very end of 2023 into 2024. ETH was ramping. Pepe was finishing a reaccumulation. What are we seeing right now? ETH has been ramping. Pepe looks to be finishing a reaccumulation. Vindication season is around the corner, ladies and gentlemen.
Like right here.
I think we're right there in that little cluster, Tucker. I think it's a matter of maybe even milliseconds, okay? Milliseconds. Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about. You're either being sarcastic or something. I'm going to just leave it at that. That's consensus because people they're not patient with their reflexivity they're not patient enough with their reflexivity of beta. They expect an instantaneous follow. And what I'm showing you is that you really should be screaming at everybody you know, explaining that this delay is actually healthy. And the higher that ETH goes, the more sustainable and powerful the Pepe beta pump will be. And SPX 6900 is not a better hold than Pepe. It is not. I've already done the pair chart. It's not. It's performed very well, and I do think it's going to pump higher, but it is not going to outperform Pepe.
I think you need ETH to like break above this cluster, probably.
And then that's it.
You know, like this was the 3 days before Pepe launched, and there was a red candle, and then ETH kind of broke above all this, and it was just, it was over to the upside. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, as soon as ETH sticks that landing, which I think it's a matter of days, maybe we have to wait until Q4. Again, we're already over halfway through the last month of Q3. It's going to happen. It's going to play. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. It looks ready, man. Louis, thoughts? Meat stick, maybe?
Hello?
You're back.
Yeah, no.
This guy's trying to get me in trouble today. I think he's asking me about Jimmy Kimmel too. Now he's asking me to talk about immigration. I will talk about Pepe. And I think you should have your dollars immigrate into Pepe, is what I think. That's the only immigration I'll be talking about.
Can I show my Pepe chart?
Meat, you want to show your Pepe?
Yeah, I'm gonna show my PP.
Meat's gonna show you his PP chart. Go ahead.
We're getting canceled for sure today.
Who's gonna cancel us?
Nobody.
SPX 6900 holders are gonna cancel me.
They could try.
I don't get the girl. I don't get like the logo, like the girl. Someone's gonna have to explain that to me.
It's the AI girlfriend that they all share as a cluster.
As a cluster.
Super normal. Don't worry, Louis.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
Don't ask questions. It's normal.
Yeah, you wouldn't get it.
It's totally fine.
Yeah.
What is going on? What are these like edgy requests today, guys?
Post-war consensus.
We're crypto traders. You don't want our geopolitical takes. We're not qualified, okay?
Yeah,
we're very good at like one thing, and it's charting and talking about crypto. Everything outside of that, you don't want our opinions on. That's it.
Max, what about golf from you?
Oh, I'm a pretty good golfer. Yeah, I could probably help you there. So like golf and crypto, I'm pretty good at.
I could talk some NFL.
But, like, you don't want me giving geopolitical takes. Like I don't know anything about it. I just see stuff that other people post, and it doesn't seem like they know what they're talking about either. They're just angry.
Yeah, we don't have time for that.
I don't know. I genuinely don't know, but would love to hear your take on it. You can feel free to share it with me. I'll probably block you because I don't actually want to hear it, but I don't know. I don't know what to say. Shit's too complicated, man. Yeah, Max, what's your take on the Gaza Strip? Never been there, man. I have no clue. I don't know. I wish I knew more, but I don't. I just see what other people post, and a lot of it seems I think a lot of people use really tense topics to get engagement on X. So I'm a little skeptical of anything I see on it. But Louis, tell me about your PP here. What are you charting?
Yeah, I really like how this is shaping up. It's just when you're zooming out and you're looking at this chart.
I know. I know, Max.
Tucker's going to crash out
We
live on
got him
stream.
right where we want him.
Yeah, Tucker's going to crash out. Yeah.
Just keep going. Louis.
All right, sorry, Louis. It's just a wild day today.
Yeah, it's all good. I like it. Yeah, I this really looks ready to explode, in my opinion. Here we have pretty much what is kind of getting confirmed here, that this just a multi-month consolidation, right? And this is where people get messed up in here, in this type of price action. Have beautiful bottom and basing formation put in back in May and April. And this green box in this area where we did put this in is somewhere where we've done in the past, right? This is a great demand support level that Pepe has been using for the last year to, put in bases, put in bottoms, right? So we left this bottom in May, right? Started coming off the lows March, April, really saw that overextension and, kind of exit of this bottoming pattern back in May. And I think this is where a lot of people got messed up, was they saw this, weren't buying here, right? If they had already capitulated and sold on this move, chased this pump, right? Thinking that they're in the clear and they're going to get a free ride to old all-time highs. And they've since again gotten chopped up for multiple months, right? Just kind of price ping-ponging in here, likely selling the lows, chasing the pumps multiple times over. This has definitely done its job as far as, market making is concerned, of kind of accumulating, right? Smart money accumulating at the lows, and chopping up all the retail investors in between. And you could see it in the sentiment. It's clear as day. People getting super frustrated with Pepe, kind of giving up on it, saying that the correlation to ETH is dead, not really understanding what they're talking about. But love seeing this, right? Which was the second kind of test of this lower boundary. Saw a nice big push off here, came all the way back, revisited, held it as support. Everyone was looking for the big shoe to drop here on Pepe to kind of return back to the lows without respecting the market structure support. Curled up beautifully. Now even breaking out of this local kind of falling wedge compression, right? Within a larger, right? So you had this beautiful kind of tight falling wedge compression into support. And I love these formations where you get a slow, methodical kind of sell-off into a support. People get super bearish at the lows. We've seen it exit. We saw a nice pump again, likely people chasing this pump as well. And kind of cementing this falling trend line as a serious resistance, like breaking this downwards trend line here is the key for Pepe to really explode to the upside. And we now have 3 beautiful stacked highs, right? And if I had to imagine here, there's multiple, lots and lots of short liquidity sitting above each one of these stacked highs here. That likely is going to give us the fuel, right? So when this breaks, these short positions are going to have to either cover or get liquidated, and that's going to give us the juice to push us higher, which will likely take us into the upper part of this macro range we've been putting in for the last year and a half, right? So we've been pretty much trading the lower half of this range a majority of the time. This was the Coinbase listing, created our range high, have been below it ever since. But this kind of formation here is really setting up the stage for a big squeeze back to the upside for Pepe, and likely going to bring it into the upper half of this range, wherein, if we get back above this mid-range and cement price, gain price acceptance up here, there's not much stopping Pepe from heading back to the range highs. We have a little bit of market structure and supply, but way more down here, right? Way more down here, where when you get above here, price moves pretty quick, right? Price moves fast up in this area because a lot of the market structure and supply is in the lower half. So I really do like this daily setup for Pepe. I really like it here. And again, probably a lot of people not trusting this move. Saw a breakout here, banged his head on resistance, pulling back, and kind of holding and gaining ground, the high ground, and making a higher low, right, on the daily time frame. We got a low, breakout, bang, slight rejection, higher low. And this is one of those environments where I think you're going to continue to make higher lows methodically until you get this big breakout. But when you get this breakout, it's going to be a big move. You're going to see, you know, again, like if you guys were here for like around here, like Pepe in just a couple days, you know, ripped almost 100%. And you're going to see those days where when you're breaking this, you're going to see 30, 40, 50% day plus days for Pepe. So I'm really liking the structure here. Loving the stacked highs, you know, beautiful short liquidity for the taking above us, likely going to give us the juice and really kind of send Pepe. So this is pretty much, you know, a beautiful setup for continuation, consolidation to a major support that has been done. You know, we've been doing this since May, right? So multiple months of this, everyone's given up. Now it's time to go, right? Everyone's been liquidated. Everyone's capitulated. Now it's time to go again. So really liking the structure and how this is looking. And I think it's, again, going to surprise a lot of people. And maybe we just need that last push above all-time highs for ETH for it to happen, which I think is also very close on the horizon here. So I really do like the structure for Pepe. And I think it's time. I think we put in enough time here, bouncing around. Now we're going to enter the next phase, which is expansion.
I totally agree with you, Louis. I mean, it looks incredibly coiled. Do you have any, and I know this is more just for fun, but like, do you have any targets? Are you thinking price discovery and then we'll reevaluate, or like, what are you thinking here?
Yeah, I mean, that's how I normally go with it. Usually I'm not even bothering looking at targets until we kind of get close. But as you can see, I have them drawn. And these are linear fibs, right? So I usually like to use linear fibs first. And then, you know, you start trading into these linear fib targets. You could then switch over to log and kind of, you know, see where where this potentially takes us. But these are just some linear fibs I have, right? Very clear, concise. I think the 2618, right? So what? Yeah, Pepe is what, around like $4 or $5 billion market cap right now.
So that looks like a 6x.
Yeah, so that puts us around
25 mil,
30 bill. And I think the linear 618 takes us to close to that $50 billion target you've been talking about, Max.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, these are kind of my targets. And I think anywhere in here, I think is on the table for sure. And then even higher, depending on how frothy we get when we get up here. But, yeah, these are all on the table for me, especially for how long we've been basing. Right. This has been like a year-long kind of reaccumulation basing formation. You're not going to get a little blip, right? You're not going to get a blip from this. When you have reaccumulations and bases this long, you're going to get a powerful, expansive move for Pepe.
And this guy, Silver Nerfer. What about Andy? You guys never talk about Andy anymore. Is Boys Club narrative over? No, it's not at all. Not even close. I actually think it's just getting started.
Yeah.
I mean, the charts look the same as Pepe. You know, like they move perfectly. I just had a video on it on our YouTube channel. Like if you're on the channel watching right now, I can see, like, go look at my last 10-minute max video, or maybe it was 2 videos ago.
Yep.
I did like a whole breakdown on Boys Club, every single pair chart, like the whole thing.
Yeah, I talked about Andy too in 2 videos ago.
We talk about it a lot, actually. I don't know what you're talking about. But
yeah, I was talking about liking this area for buys on Andy. Why? Well, we're at range lows, right? We're at value prices considering the last year of price action, right? So as an analyst, it's very clear that we're in a range, right? Range low established, range highs established, range lows, range highs. We're back to range lows, and we have to kind of assume that this range is going to continue to range until proven otherwise, right? So really like this price action down here at range lows too. This is very indicative of accumulation at a range low. And this is something I talked about in my video as well, where if you want to buy an asset low before the masses, you kind of have to be okay with dealing with this annoying price action, right? Looking promising, going up, coming back down, up, back down, kind of like the ebbs and flows down here at range lows. And if you're like, speaking to the price action of what's going on down here, I would say this is smart money accumulating every time you come into the lows, right, of this range. And what happens is smart money comes in, bids it up. And as you kind of get these first impulses off the lows, you have retail investors who are trapped, right? Who are either A, chasing this, or B, buying on the way down way too early, looking to get out, right? And we call that supply, right? So every time big money comes in or smart money is starting to accumulate, you kind of have to work through that supply. You have big money accumulating. You have retail investors who are down bad looking to get out and using these pumps as, what they're thinking is likely this is great. This is my chance to get out, right? This isn't going anywhere anymore. I've given up. I've lost hope in this play. And every time that happens, price comes back down and, big money comes in, buys again. You have trapped retail investors selling, trying to get out of their underwater positions, likely at a loss or maybe close to break even. But eventually the supply from the sellers runs out, right? Eventually it runs out. They run out of ammo to kind of continue to push this lower. They're all out of ammo. They've sold out of their positions. And again, you get a third kind of trip into your macro range lows. Smart money continues to accumulate at these levels, eventually leaving and exiting this kind of bottoming reaccumulation pattern, clear horizontal resistance, rising demand coming into it. This is a clear bottoming reversal pattern. And eventually, the sellers run out of ammo, you break kind of your structure, and that leads to a big squeeze back to the upside. And you see the range continuing to range, right? Wherein, Andy coming back to range highs for a third time. I wouldn't expect it to come up for a third time and come back down, right? What I would expect is if and when Andy gets back to range highs, which I think is very much on the table here from everything we're seeing in the markets, sure, you probably see some resistance, right? You'll probably, at this point, you'll see people saying, Andy stopped again. You guys fell for it. Ha, ha, ha. You didn't sell the range high. You get a higher low. You get continued press into the range highs. And for a third test, you finally leave, right? And ultimately, in hindsight, this will be a small little blip on the chart. And this is ultimately just your year-long accumulation for Andy as an asset before a major leg to the upside, right? And people that will be coming into crypto late, like we discussed earlier in the show, will be looking back at this and be like, wow, if I only had a chance to buy Andy down in this range, it was super obvious that was the low base of this chart. And that's kind of what's going to happen, right? So if and when Andy does return back to range highs, I think this is ultimately going to be very obvious that this was just a year-long accumulation. Although when you're in it every day, it feels like a big range. These feel like big moves because they were. But I think the real big move happens when you exit, this reaccumulation and enter expansion. And this will just be the base that set the big parabolic move to the upside. So I really like what I'm seeing, right? And if you're buying the range lows, right? The lows of the range lows, which is like anytime it comes into the yellow box, as I've been doing and kind of expressing to our Discord and on the videos I've been putting out, you're sitting pretty. Now you have a nice value DCA'd position, the lower quartile of this range. And the second you start leaving and heading back to the upside, you're sitting comfy in your position and everyone else is starting to chase. You don't care what happens because you're already well in profit because you were buying with smart money down at the lows here. So I think this is shaping up beautifully and smells like accumulation before another expansion to the upside.
Beautifully said, Louis. I think we're going to blast off on a lot of altcoins here, man. A lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
But guys, that does take us into the end of the show. All right. That takes us into the end of the show. Guys, thanks for being here as always. Greatly appreciate it. Before you guys go, please consider liking the stream and also subscribing to the channel. Reminder, if you are watching on Pump, I think you can subscribe there as well. I'm still kind of learning how it works. I think maybe there's like a subscribe or a join button or something. I don't really know. Show some love. Hit that like. Hit that subscribe, whether you are on X, YouTube, or Pump. Leave us a comment. Do something, guys. Engage with us some way, somehow. Great stream today, guys. Great stream today. Furthermore, if you are looking to up your game, we offer a wide variety of different products. Those are in the description of the YouTube video down below, guys. Our flagship product is the BB Terminal, guys. Basically a better version of Dex Screener. You can go on there. We've got custom indicators, chart all your favorite shit coins, and we do also have order execution dropping very, very soon over there. And again, that is 100% for free. So would love if you guys would check out bbterminal.com. Again, first link in the description below. Second link in the description below, guys. If you are really looking to up your game and you like Market Check, you will love the second link, guys. Become a Discord member. Further, just one step back here. If you join the Discord, all of our Discord members get a premium BB Terminal subscription for free with special indicators, wallet tracking, little like different tools, things you're going to want to use. So that premium version of the free version of BB Terminal included for free in your Discord. But guys, in the Discord, we do 2 private live voice calls every single day with screen sharing, basically a private version of Market Check twice a day, one at the New York Open, one at the New York Close, guys. We all have position channels where we update you on how we are personally positioning. Maybe some special charts, things we don't talk about here on YouTube. So guys, check that out somewhere. And then last but not least, we do have a new product here, which is 100% for free, called the Volume Fusion Pro. That is the 4th link in the description down below. It's a brand new Discord server. We've got a flagship trading algorithm that is in and out of these markets, absolutely clobbering it. Definitely outperforming just holding spot right now. Averages like 2 or 3 trades per day between the 3 different strategies that we have in there. And again, that is 100% for free. So you can click on that link down below. It will redirect you to our Discord. And then from there, you do have to sign up for our Blowfin account. You have to do like 50K a month in volume to keep access, which is incredibly small. That'd be like taking 3 trades at 10,000 notional size over a 30-day period of time. So very, very small barrier to entry. You get great signals. And you can give yourself an edge and hopefully make some money while we wait for altcoins to perk up and really have easy mode and fun mode. But guys, thanks again for being here. Hit that like button. Subscribe to any of the socials that we're on right now. Thank you to the Pump community. It looks like we had some new people join today, like maybe 30, 35 people over there that normally aren't on YouTube. So guys, thanks so much for checking it out. We are live here 4 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. But yeah, guys, really happy that you guys were here joining us. Thanks for supporting the channel. Thanks for finding BB. And guys, we will see you tomorrow for another episode of Market Check. Everybody have a great day. Stay safe and take care.
Tired of outdated trading tools, confused charts, dozens of tabs, endless stress? You're not alone. Introducing BB Terminal, your all-in-one command center for crypto trading. Track your portfolio. Monitor the markets. Stay ahead, all in one place. From chaos to clarity, from struggle to success. BB Terminal.